First of all, thanks for coming. I think it is quite cramped in here, but what we wanted to do is try and bring to life the first pub that we put UHD in, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the coverage a bit later as well. So just to start off with, I wanted to just really cover, at BT, I think most of you guys know the kind of challenge that we've had. We started to become a broadcaster about 3 years ago, a little bit over 3 years ago. We now have over 5 million subscribers consuming our sports channel, and I joined at probably the most fantastic period of BT's evolution, because we had just spent a lot of money on the rights, and my challenge was to bring that onto the screens. And I thought that was a big challenge, trying to launch BT Sport in 9 months. And then Gavin and John and others in BT decided that they wanted to do something even bigger for Champions League. So the challenge that was set to us was a fairly simple goal, it sounded. It was to produce high-definition sport with the most interactive viewing experience on the app and set-top box. But when you started to look at that goal, I think the challenge became a bit more difficult, because we were used to doing a game a week, and all of a sudden we had to do 351 games across the season, and at peak there were 12 concurrent games. We need to bring that to our apps, our web, our TV screens, and that was a fairly big challenge. Coupled with that, we also had a two-tiered login process, and we needed to deliver that on time and on budget. And obviously the dates of Champions League weren't going to move, so the pressure was very much on. And I think we did a great job of bringing that to life, and it was really working with technology partners to really drive innovation and functionality that I think the British public hadn't seen before. So the first thing that we did was we brought what you guys are going to see tonight, our UHD channel to 4, the first in Europe, and we're very, very proud of the quality of the picture and the experience. Just to let you guys know, when we were sitting in BT Towers discussing how we were going to try and bring the best picture quality to the screens, UHD was murmured. The standards hadn't really been properly defined. And we had to, what we call glass to glass, get that whole workflow working. And that meant doing things from building a scanner truck from scratch with various different components, building a comms truck from scratch, doing all of the contribution circuits, building a brand new set-top box, building a brand new studio, and all of those things had to come together in a way that they all worked. And I have to say, I think the support we had from Elemental was very instrumental. And I think the reason why we chose Elemental as a partner is because they are software-based, and we knew the standards were going to change. And if I told you how many changes we made right up to live day, it certainly scared us, and I'm sure it will scare you as well. But I think the beauty of the different parties working together, of being able to change things as things were evolving, was really instrumental in bringing that service to life. And hopefully you guys will see, we won't only have a brilliant game tonight, but it will be in really good quality video. The next thing that we wanted to do was bring an interactive sport app, and hopefully many of you have seen it. About 4.8 million customers have downloaded it. And the app gives you can see just on the left-hand side, this fantastic opportunity to never miss an event in a game, which is really important when you've got concurrent games ongoing. And the ability to go backwards in time and watch a penalty again, or a goal, or a yellow card, or a red card. And this is really the VOD to live workflow that we've brought to life, and it's worked really, really well. And if you look at some of the key stats, I'm really pleased with the viewing experience that we've had. A lot of people are interacting with the app, and they're also watching TV at the same time to get extra data points and be able to go back in time and review various events on the games. Or some of our customers are watching one game on the TV and a different game on the app as well. I think for those of you that follow Twitter, if you look at some of the feedback we've had on the app, it's been absolutely overwhelmingly positive. But it wasn't only about the app. We also wanted to try and bring that interactivity to the TV as well. And we, knew that we had all of these games, and we didn't want just a very boring game switcher. We wanted to bring that interactivity to life behind the connected red button. And we brought things like team lineups, various events that were happening in the game, your ability to choose a game rather than a channel, and also put on goal alerts. So if there was a goal going on in a game you weren't watching, it would alert you, and you can automatically go and watch that goal. And once again, I think the feedback has been very, very positive. We're not only about sport, though. It was also about making sure that we continue to build on our pedigree around an entertainment brand. And we've launched a TV Everywhere application that uses the same workflows as our sport workflows to bring all of that content to life as well. And I have to say, we've had numerous partners, but one of the partners that has been really instrumental in bringing this all together and make it a success was Elemental. And we had our challenges, and Sam and I on different sides of the time zone, and we spoke at early hours on both sides of that time zone many, many times. But I'm pleased to say that we've launched something that we all feel very proud of. And Sam will speak to you a little bit more about those workflows and what we did together. And happy to take any questions afterwards as well. So enjoy the evening, and please do have a few beers and enjoy the game.
Thank you, Greg. All right. Well, Greg, thank you so much. I think this event has been a long time in the coming. We were so excited when BT selected Elemental for the 4K delivery of the streams, and we right away started talking about how we could talk about this innovation that we're doing together, because so few companies in the world are making the investment in 4K that brings this unbelievably immersive viewer experience to life, and BT has done a phenomenal job doing so. The Elemental portion of the workflow is very important, critical. We think it's crucial, of course. But the production workflows, the trucks, building the entire glass-to-glass workflow, that's an enormous amount of effort. And the BT team that's here, I think, deserves an enormous round of applause for what they've done in such a short amount of time. So it's an honor to work with them. All right, so Elemental, for those of you who are unfamiliar, has a core purpose of perfecting the media experience. The company is about 9.5 years old, and last October were acquired by Amazon Web Services. So we're part of the AWS family, the cloud arm of Amazon. Now, the company started back in 2006 when watching content on a mobile device or on a computer basically meant booting the Real Player program, having a stuttery, buffering, horrible experience, and getting frustrated with all the malware it installed on your PC. We've really moved in the 9 years from that traditional linear workflow and that poor IP experience with Real Player to the multi-screen, multi-platform environment that we all enjoy today, where you can watch your content on any device and have a flawless experience. The other big challenge that we've helped our customers solve is connecting with their viewers at massive scale. And this is due to the growth of mobile environments. So instead of delivering just to a couple 100 million large screen televisions, our customers are now delivering to billions of mobile devices. And by the end of the decade, by 2020, Ericsson and Cisco estimate we'll be delivering to 15 to 20 billion mobile connected video-capable devices. So that scale is just an enormous jump from what customers were doing when we started the company. Now, that was 2006. We've come a long way since then. And at NAB last week, we showed the full gamut of technologies that Elemental is investing in. 24/7 live linear video, one of the things we're doing here with BT. Server-side ad insertion is something we're investing a lot of resources in to help our customers monetize content on whatever platform their consumers are watching it on. Channel playout, we demonstrated some graphics rendering, motion graphics overlays on top of 4K content, something that we did for a major customer in the United States quite recently. Cloud DVR services, enabling any kind of live to VOD, catch-up television, all on AWS in the cloud. 4K Ultra HD, one of my favorites, what we're talking about in large part today. It's come a long way since 2013 when we first demonstrated our initial 30 frame per second 4K streams. And HEVC, H.265, starting to gain a lot of momentum. There's quite a few 4K services being deployed, and then we're seeing other customers use HEVC to save bandwidth when they deliver to their customers over IP networks. HDR is something that we've invested a lot in, and we're starting to see some HDR standards get approved. And at NAB, there was a ton of HDR interest and discussion. Most folks think the combination of HDR and Ultra HD is going to be a very powerful driver for the adoption of next generation content. And VR. VR was another very large topic of conversation at NAB. We were partnered with a company called Nokia, had the Ozo camera in our booth, and was very popular demonstration. Of these 8 technologies that we're really focused on right now, our partnership with BT involves 4 of them. 24/7 live linear video, what we're calling our unified head-in environment, server-side ad insertion, 4K Ultra HD, and HEVC. So really, the partnership encompasses a large amount of the R&D that Elemental is investing in today. Now, something that we have experienced with our customers is that their workflows are no longer static. Things are changing very dynamically in the space, and an old kind of legacy offering, which is a complete end-to-end hardware-based offering, no longer scale to keep up with multi-screen demands, no longer keep up with next-generation 4K and HEVC and HDR demands. So you have to have a best-of-breed approach where you use a software-based products and scale them up or down based on the requirements of your consumers. As a part of Amazon, we've gone from just offering best-in-class video processing and origination to also providing portions of the workflow like CloudFront for CDN delivery, S3 for storage, and a variety of other analytics that sit around these overall workflows. So customers can deploy best-of-breed workflows where they run on-premise or on AWS in the cloud. And the beauty here is that the workflows we're deploying for our customers are completely different based on the customer need. What we're deploying for BT is very different than what we've deployed for Comcast in the United States or HBO Go in the United States. And the software-defined video processing workflows allow that flexibility and customizability. All right, so what have we done with BT? What is the workflow we've put together here? So as Greg mentioned, the challenge was substantial. They had very little time after making enormous investments in content to deploy a world-class workflow that could deliver content on any device to the millions of consumers that were clamoring for it. And the goal is to provide a unified viewing experience regardless of which platform a customer was viewing the content on, whether it was a mobile device, an iPad, a 4K set-top box. Customers have to have the same experience. They know how to navigate, so they get the best brand experience from BT. BT's solution was to standardize on Elemental's software-defined video platform essentially across the board. We unified their traditional and multi-screen head-ends, so they went from a heterogeneous environment where you had a specific set of hardware-based compression systems for the set-top box delivery, and then another set of systems for the multi-screen delivery. They went with the Elemental unified solution, which allowed them to operate, manage, maintain, and optimize costs across a single unified platform. Elemental Live provides the H.264 and HEVC compression, and Elemental Delta enables the just-in-time packaging, live-to-VOD delivery, and origination of the content. The benefits have been substantial for BT. Obviously, the service has launched and has run flawlessly the entire time it's been running. It offers the ultimate viewing experience to subscribers, regardless of what device they're watching on. This is one of the only places in the world you can watch a world-class soccer match in 4K. In the United States, we just had the Masters broadcast in 4K. That's one of the first major sporting events that we've ever had in 4K in the US. BT's a year ahead of what we have in the US. So it's just a really impressive technical accomplishment that they've made. It also delivers the flexibility to expand and modify services as the consumer demand changes, as they need to mix and match the service offerings they're providing. And they've been able to seamlessly scale from 90 channels at launch to hundreds of channels today, all with the same unified software-defined platform. So I think they've seen a really big win here. And frankly, Greg's a busy guy. The BT team's a really busy guy. The fact that they're willing to take the time to talk about what we're doing together, I think shows you, to some degree, how successful this project has been. All right. Diving into technology, the part that I like the most as an engineer by training, the unified video processing from Elemental that powers the BT Sport and BT TV workflows. So here's BT's workflow. You'll note that everything is redundant. So these are the most valuable sport properties in the world, very expensive linear properties. It cannot go down. It has to run flawlessly. And so everything is highly available and fully redundant. Contribution feeds come in, like any pay TV operator receives antenna, satellite, and fiber downlinks. For the OTT multi-screen delivery, those go into Elemental Live systems. Elemental Live creates the H.264 adaptive bitrate output profiles and hands them off to Elemental Delta, which performs the just-in-time packaging and DRM, the just-in-time encryption, as well as working with storage to create the live to VOD workflows. Those are then handed off to a multiple set of CDNs to ensure delivery if a single CDN goes down. And then the streaming ABR profiles are delivered in HLS and smooth formats to any type of multi-screen device. So that's your multi-screen workflow. And Elemental Conductor down at the bottom there, that's our management system that enables you to set up multiple profiles, all the different availability and redundancy features, and have a unified view of what your encoders are doing. That's controlling the whole set of live systems. Next, the same Elemental Live clusters are providing your standard definition and high definition H.264 streams delivered over the BT managed network, the fiber network, to IPTV set-top boxes in UK homes throughout the country. And then finally, our 4K UHD encoders, Elemental Live systems, are also taking 4 SDI input signals, creating a 4K HEVC output, and delivering to the beautiful little svelte BT 4K Ultra HD set-top box, which we've got an example of out there, and maybe we can take a look at it during the game as well. So you can see this unified architecture, the exact same platform, is providing all BT's multi-screen services, SD and HD managed offerings, and 4K UHD. So you understand how this simplifies and drives very, very powerful workflows. All right, so the key takeaways from our work with BT. The first is that software-defined video tackles the industry's biggest challenge, whether that's 4K, whether that's multi-screen, whether that's monetization, whether that's delivery. Software-defined video processing scales to any type of video processing and delivery challenge that you could have today. There really is no need for specialized hardware anymore. Software can perform all the tasks that hardware used to be required for. Second, as multi-screen becomes mainstream, the unified head-end strategy simplifies operations dramatically and drives down costs. It improves economics substantially because you don't have to manage multiple types of infrastructure. You can run everything through a single unified interface on a single platform. And then finally, a single software-defined video solution can scale all the way from mobile profiles, audio-only profiles, all the way up to the 4K profiles that you're going to see tonight when Manchester City takes on Real Madrid, including 4K and HDR. And as these standards evolve very, very rapidly, HDR is still, from NAB, clearly going to be a battle between Dolby, Technicolor, HDR10, and others. Having a software-based solution allows you to invest in a very confident manner because you know that software can be updated every time you want to support a different HDR standard. So with that, I want to thank you all so much for coming, again, on a Tuesday night after NAB. We're very appreciative. And I really, again, want to thank the BT team for supporting this and being such a great partner. This stuff is not easy. I'll tell you, our engineers and the BT engineers have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in these workflows, and we're very, very proud to have the opportunity to talk about it a little bit and show you what its end result has been.